Monday Night Football, baby. We're here.
There's only one other good play on Minnesota.
Touchdown in 46 seconds. Punches back. Touchdown.
Oh, if you didn't know, it's the NBA Hardwood show on a Tuesday afternoon here, talking a little hoops with my guy, DC. Got a nice 6-gamer on tap over on DraftKings. 7 total games in the association tonight, and some news flying in. We already got a ton of news on this slate, and got a little more just before we got on this show, DC. This is going to turn out to be a very fun and interesting slate because I think there's a lot of different ways to go here.
Yeah, absolutely. 6-gamer here on Tuesday in the association. Like you said, it looks like you said, a lot of news has come in, a lot of news we're waiting on, but it does look like a backloaded news type of slate, especially with the Phoenix Suns, Connor Gillespie in particular, getting ruled questionable just in the last hour or so here. So, yeah, a lot of news we're going to have to track even probably after the slate starts, but we'll, of course, do our best beforehand here to break down, the if-thens, where to go if certain guys are missing. But it does look like a slate where potentially some value could open up, after the slate itself gets started.
Yeah, definitely one of those slates where, kind of similar to a little bit with yesterday's slate, right? Where we got like that kind of opening value later on. We didn't have to wait really as long, but it's definitely one of those slates where we could be waiting a little bit. I have a feeling though, DC, we're going to get like another news dump before lock, which is going to kind of make some of these situations pretty clear for the most part. Maybe not all of it, but some of it. So yeah, JSU is microwaving those ice cubes, getting ready for this. Microwaving ice cubes. What do you need ice cubes for? I mean, you don't need ice cubes. Warm water doesn't need ice cubes, baby. That's how it's done right there. You just pour some warm water. Easy. No ice cubes needed. DC, you don't have ice. You don't drink ice cubes.
Oh, I'm a big ice cube guy. We're both.
Oh God.
We're both big water drinkers. I drink. I don't measure it, but I assume at least a gallon of water every day. But it's all very, very ice cubed up. I like my water.
Oh, you're like Big T. I don't do that.
I don't get what's with the warm water thing. I don't get it at all.
It's just, I'm just used to it. I don't know what to say. I'm just used to it. I drink it. I got no issues with it. I don't know why. Why do you need your water like ice cold?
I don't know. It just tastes better. I guess just a personal preference thing.
Yeah, I guess it is just. Most people lean your way, DC. Yeah. So it's not like most people on my side. Right now. More people are definitely on your side than mine. It's probably like a 90-10 type of thing right there. So
move your ass to Europe. They like their uniced water over there. So you can.
Yeah. All right. Europe knows what's up. I like both team water. Yeah. Team water. Yeah. There you go. We like the water. It is all I drink though. Did you see that thing I tweeted? Kevin James apparently did a 41.5 day water fast.
Oh, really?
41.5 days. That's some crazy shit right there. I mean, I know he was a big guy, so it's like a little different, but still, that takes a lot of.
I haven't made it longer than 36 hours on the water fast. I assume at some point after like a week, you probably just like aren't hungry anymore. Like I don't know, but
he said he went through like ups and downs after that point. So you probably do just go through random like ups and downs at that point. But I've went 3 days. That's the most I've done is 3 days. And that felt, I don't want to make it sound like it was crazy. It wasn't 41.5 days, but I felt like I accomplished something after 3 days, DC. So 41.5 days, I would definitely feel pretty proud of myself.
3 days is something like anyone could do it, right? It's like a willpower thing. It's just it's hard to keep going without like, like a major wager on the line or something like that. Cause it's like, you get to 36 hours and you're like, I'm kind of hungry. Like, what's the real point of keeping going
Well,
other than to prove that I can? So
yeah, it's more of a challenge. I don't know if you ever do this, DC, but I do it all the time where I like challenge myself. Things,
yeah,
okay, can I do this? You know what I mean? And I'll try. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
if I can't, I can't. If I can, I can. It's more just that type of like, some people just like fold when they challenge themselves. Like I at least like will attempt it, but it's tough to do because like you said, you're only competing with yourself. You're not competing with other people.
Well, what I do is I like trick myself. I'm like, I know I could do it. So if I know I can, why do I need to? And then it's like, well, if you don't do it, could you? It's kind of a catch-22 there a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a little
Yeah.
both sides, but yeah, no, I saw that. I was like, okay, that's fucking crazy. Like 41 and a half days is just next level. Pretty wild shit, but that's all right. That's just a little fun water talk right there. He did say he used electrolytes too. So I mean he had electrolytes, wasn't I guess just water, but he said no vitamins, no nothing else, just water and electrolytes. So
Consult your physician before doing a 41 and a half day water fast.
honestly, do not go past like a day or 36 hours without like building up to it. If
Yeah.
you're thinking of fasting, like you should build up to it slowly. Like first do 16 hours, then wait a couple weeks, then do 24 hours, then wait a couple and incrementally build up to like a 2 or 3 day fast. Don't just do it. Don't just say, I'm just going to do it all in one shot, because you'll feel all types of fucked up if you do that. So whatever. That's right. Hardwood winners. We're ready to roll here. Don Yeezy, ready to roll, talking some water. Now we're going to get into some warm beer. DC, are you a beer guy? Because I know you don't drink really anymore, but like, were you ever a beer guy? Because
Oh,
I
yeah.
just can never drink. I can never, like, the taste never got me. Even when I drank a little bit, like I was like, what, beer?
I've had more than a few warm beers in my life, that's for sure. But yes, to answer your question, I was an everything guy. Joy,
You
I heard
didn't
you talking about,
discriminate. You just
yeah,
kept going with it, whatever it
you were
was.
talking drinking the other day, and you were saying, you don't drink because you don't really like to drink. I don't drink because I like to drink too much. So opposite end of the spectrum.
Hey, that's willpower right there, DC. So you could just fast. You could just you like to eat probably, but hey, fuck it. I could fast if I wanted to. That's the way you look at it. That's the way I look at it. I love to eat. It's my favorite. Honestly, my favorite time of the day is my meal. It's my favorite time of the day. My wife, she makes fun of me. She's like, "Oh, it's the one time of the day. It's your favorite time. It's food time." And I'm like, "Yep, it is."
It means a little more when you only get to eat during your 1 hour window or whatever it is.
Yep, it makes it even more precious. See,
Yeah.
it's the best part. JSU needs beer infused weed. Loosen the guy up. No, I don't do any of that stuff. Nope. I am straight on all of that. All right, DC, let's get into this first game here. We do have 2 games before the 8:00 window hits here, 7 and 7:30, and they are some decent games with some decent plays in it. Portland and Washington, first one up here. It's the 7:00 game, and it looks like we're gonna get Denny back. He didn't play on the front end yesterday, and Tiago came out, I think, and pretty much said the plan is for him to return for today's game. So although he's listed as questionable, the plan was for him to come back here, rest the first, the front end, play the back end of the back-to-back. He was out for, just like 2 games or so, and now be back here. And he gets Washington, just a great spot for Denny at 9,500 if you want to spend up against Washington. I think there's other plays here. Donovan Clingan, he is 7K, so he's a little pricey on DraftKings, but he's in a pretty good spot. And Robert Williams is questionable to play on the back end of a back-to-back, and Duop Reith was already ruled out. So, maybe a little thin with the bigs if Robert Williams is ruled out.
Yeah, it could be. If Williams is out, I mean, Klingon's been kind of quietly having a pretty strong season, especially second half of the year. If you look at the game log, bunch of games, 40 plus, a 50 burger in there against Sacramento, and a really good matchup here, obviously against Washington. Pretty high total in this one, 232. Portland favored by 7. And mentioned Denny, I agree with you. I do think he's pretty likely to go in this game. It certainly seems like it from the coach's comments. Revenge game, right? Avdia was in Washington for a number of years, and of course,
bro, how did they get rid of Denny?
Because
Washington literally can just never get out of its own way.
That's what I'm saying. That every decision that they have to make, they make the wrong one. So impressive stuff from the Wizards.
And even when he was there, DC, they would like randomly like not play him that much. Like it was just like a weird thing. They never like even tried to let him be the guy.
They had no idea what they had. They never gave him a chance to be the guy. They traded him for not all that much, and they got it wrong once again. But I don't know if you're Avdia. I don't know how many times he's played back in Washington. Probably not a ton, given the conference and coast difference. But yeah, I would think a spot where you'd want to show out and play well, and certainly a spot you can do it. I mean, Washington. They're kind of small and inexperienced at the guards, right? Like Bub Carrington, Trey Johnson. I mean, these guys aren't going to stop Avdia, I don't think, from getting to the cup, from doing his thing. So I like Avdia quite a bit. There is going to be plenty of good plays on this slate, including some guys potentially emerging late on news. But if I'm going to Portland, like what I don't, we talk about when there's late news potentially. You got to be careful with early value, right? Because you don't want to lock yourself out of late value. But an early stud who puts up 60, you're going to want him no matter what happens late. And I do think Avdia's got a good chance to do that. I really do like him. He is my favorite play on Portland, followed by Klingon, especially if Robert Williams misses. But really good spot for Portland overall. I have less interest in the Washington side, but still a good spot for Washington. Portland plays fast. They turn the ball over a lot of transition against them. And Washington, they can get out and run a little bit, and they're somewhat thin as well. So more interest on the Portland side, but I don't hate, especially Bub Carrington here. The minutes have been there, really consistent minutes for him since the CJ McCollum trade. Trey Johnson, very hit or miss, but you saw the type of upside last game. Took 22 shots, took 15 threes against the Hornets. So any player who's even capable of getting up 15 threes in a game does have upside at 4,900. I think Trey Johnson, somewhat interesting. Koulibaly has come back, but haven't seen the minutes from him, so probably wouldn't go there. And then we'll see if Middleton goes. But if he's out, some more minutes for the other guys I talked about. So, yeah, a good slate, and I think probably some really good value late. But you can't overlook this one early. It could be a really good fantasy game here.
Yeah, by the way, Rocket Sauce was saying he fasted once for 65 days. Holy shit. He said he had professional supervision.
Yeah.
How must you have felt day 60 or something like that? There has to be ups and downs when you go that long. That's pretty insane shit. But as long as Thiago lets him go, Denny will destroy. I do agree with that. And how is Denny barely playing as a Wizard? I mean, go back and watch it, man. They were playing like Kyle Kuzma and Spencer Dinwiddie and KCP, and Denny was off the bench playing like 25 minutes when they were all healthy and start 22 to 25 minutes when they were all healthy. It's just like the weirdest shit ever.
And he was good. He wasn't as good as he is now, but they just didn't unleash him and let him have a
He
real.
was good, and they didn't even like play the game around him. Like obviously in Portland, he's like the guy in Portland right now. He was never like that way in Washington, really. And that's my point, is like they didn't even try with this young kid who was really young coming out and pretty raw, and he definitely got better. And they were just like, nah, we're gonna trade our good young guy and fill it back up. It's
Wouldn't
crazy.
want to let go of Kyle Kuzma too early. We need to see
No.
more.
Got to get Spencer Dinwiddie and Kuzma and those guys some more minutes here, but it's just wild stuff by the Wiz. I agree with you though. The Klingon stuff, I really like Klingon. I love what I see from Klingon. The only thing that really holds him back is the fact that he's not always getting like the 30 plus minutes, DC. But this matchup is just so good. And we saw like last game against Boston, 28 minutes, 38 fantasy points. If Robert Williams is ruled out, I do think maybe he could get into the 30s in this game in a close game, DC, which in my opinion would make him an even better play. So I want to see what happens with Robert Williams. Good thing we'll get that news because it's the 7:00 game. So we will definitely have it.
Looking at Williams' game log, I'm just scrolling down all the way to the bottom here. I don't see, unless I'm mistaken, a single back-to-back on the entire season.
I think he normally doesn't play the back-to-back.
And he played 20 minutes yesterday. So I would assume, and they kind of said they were figuring that Avdia would sit yesterday and play today. I assume the plan was, Robert Williams do the opposite, play yesterday and sit today. So, we'll see what happens. But I think the assumption should be that Denny plays, Robert Williams doesn't. If that does happen, I think clearly the two plays you want from Portland most are Denny 1, Klingon 2.
Yeah, especially with like Drew Holiday, they're clearly slow rolling him. Yeah. This is on the back end of a back-to-back. He's played 24, 22, 19, 20, 21, 21, and 16 minutes since his return. And remember, he was out for like 2 months with
you just got to put him right around 20 minutes, I think, tonight.
Yeah, I think low 20s, somewhere between, I don't think 20 to 24 minutes. I think they're pretty cautious. Our boy Hobbs says, just looked up Denny's log from last year versus the Wiz. He only played 5 minutes in his return to DC, must have gotten hurt, but he put up 5-2-1 with 2 turnovers in 5 minutes, DC. So
which means he was heavily involved early. No surprise.
Yeah. I'm sure he had to have gotten hurt or something like that. But yeah, I agree with you. Denny, Klingon definitely seem like pretty good plays for Portland. And I don't think you need to go anywhere else really with the Portland stuff, just with the minutes and Denny coming back. The Washington side, though, I think is a little interesting. Chris Middleton, questionable here. I could see him sitting. I like the Trey Johnson take. He's starting to come back or come on a little bit. Bilal Coulibaly looks like he's going to be back for this game. He's missed a few games here. Keyshawn George, to me, has looked really good at 6,800. I do like Alexander Sarr's minutes the last couple games, too. Hasn't had like the monster game, DC, but 31, 36, and 37 minutes in his last 3 games. That is very encouraging for someone like Sarr, whose minutes have been up and down. They've been like high 20s, and then randomly they'll go up to 30. It's weird. They like go through stretches where they'll let them play like longer in games. So maybe he's just on that stretch right now. So I like Sarr. I like George. I think Trey Johnson's a value for sure that you could play. I do think we're going to have some pretty good value in the late games. I think for this game specifically, I'm probably going to spend up for more of the stars like Denny, Klingon, George, Sarr. Those are the 4 guys I have the most interest in here. Just because of the value, looks pretty good as we get through the slate.
Sarr's kind of a weird player, I think. Like he's kind of like a little bit of a stretch 5. He's got really good athleticism, can run the floor, and he's 7 feet, but he's kind of like an undersized center anyway, right? The way I see him, like he's kind of skinny. I mean, if you just look at the weight difference here, I mean, Klingon is enormous. 7'2", 280 is his listed height and weight. Sarr, 7 foot, 205. But just watching Klingon, I mean, he plays like a giant. He could just terrorize this team on the boards. I've seen games where Klingon the other team just cannot stop him. this feels like one of those to me. So I really do like Klingon. And yeah, Sar, I mean, Bagley and Vucevic have been out. They're out again tonight.
Yeah.
So Sar's minutes, like they almost become a necessity, right? It's kind of clear Washington prefers not to give him these huge minutes, but they kind of have to now. But I'm on the Klingon side if I'm choosing between these two 7K centers myself.
Yeah. No, I think he's definitely in play here. Both guys though, honestly. But if you make me choose, I'm with you. I love Klingon tonight. I think it's a Klingon spot here. Let's go to the next game, Sacramento and the Knicks here. Domantas Sabonis, 8,100 DC. And last game was a blowout against Detroit. He only played 25 minutes, had 12, 7, and 8 in 25 minutes, only took 7 shots from the field, too. That probably doesn't stick here. I expect those shot attempts to go up. But the game before, 31 minutes against Cleveland, and he had 55 fantasy points, DC. So, I mean, it's not like the best spot, but I just think the price is kind of pushing him in a little bit more for me, at least at 8,100. He looks like a pretty good spend here for the upside that Domantas Sabonis has. This is a 9K player in fantasy, and we're getting a discount right now.
Yeah, it makes sense to me, especially with Levine and Monk out, right? So a little bit less usage overall on the Sacramento team. And yeah, if you look at the game log for Sabonis, I think it could be easy to conclude that he's still on a minutes limit. But like you said, 31 minutes. And that was with 5 personal fouls 2 games ago against Cleveland, and then the blowout 25 minutes against Detroit.
One downside with Sabonis is he will pick up fouls. He will have those type of games.
Yeah. But I think the minutes limit is probably gone for Sabonis. I think if everything goes his way, stays out of foul trouble, we get a close game, which, by the way, not at all guaranteed. New York favored by 14 or 15 points here. But I do think Sabonis' ceiling is intact. I like the call. And like you said, the price discount is certainly there for him at 8,100. And then, Sacramento is missing 2 key guards in Monk and Levine. So Westbrook, Schroeder, DeRozan. They're also missing Keegan Murray. So a team that, is normally just kind of, I don't know, stacked, overloaded, I guess, at the guard and wing position is probably the way I'd put it. Not so much tonight. So I think you could play multiple Sacramento pieces together in this one if you wanted, like a Sabonis, Westbrook, and Schroeder, or maybe even Westbrook, Sabonis, and DeRozan, because I think they need multiple good performances to stick with the Knicks here, and certainly a blowout risk. I mean, Sacramento's terrible, but I don't really think losing Levine and Monk hurts them very much. Could potentially even help them help them just identify clearer roles with the guys they have left. So, yeah, if I'm playing Sacramento guys, I think I want a couple pieces of it, and then maybe a Towns on the way back. I think makes sense. Like Sabonis, a fantastic offensive player, but not a great defender. And I think Cat should be able to score pretty easily on him. So I think Cat, my favorite way to go from the Knicks side. But yeah, Brunson, a good play as well. And then, yeah, Sacramento's interesting. If you think they keep this game close, I bet they have multiple guys score pretty well for their price points.
Yeah, and I think you're referring to Sabonis. I don't think he still has started yet. If I'm right and you're referring to him, he did start last game. He played 25 minutes. He started. They went Precious, Sabonis at the 4 and 5, and then they went Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan, and Nick Clifford for starters last game. And that was again, I think Zach LaVine was out for that game. And now no Malik Monk, who played 22 minutes off the bench. So, I do think first of all, if Neek starts at 3,300, he's an insane value right there, which I don't know why they wouldn't start him again. Kind of fits the start too. So if Nick Clifford were to start, I think he makes some sense here at 3,300. The price tag just seems cheap. And I like your Schroeder take. I feel like Schroeder, whenever he's into DC, I feel like he just kills Westbrook's upside. Like, even if they're not starting, like, he's still going to play a lot. And I feel like he really hurts Russ. Look at this, though. Dennis Schroeder had 7 assists and 7 turnovers last game. That's just classic Schroeder right there. But, yeah, I like him. And I like Nick Clifford at 3,300 and Sabonis. Those are kind of the 3 guys that I'm looking at from this Kings team here. And it's just going to depend on who starts. I want to see that starting lineup, but we're definitely going to get at least one value. Like, who's your favorite value from the Kings? Are you more like a Keon Ellis type guy, or, who do you think?
Looking at the matchups and how the rotations might go, I think Schroeder is the play. Partly because I think he's game script proof in this one. I mean, the minutes have been there recently, 25, 31 in the last 2. Now you've got Monk and Levine out. He's going to be running the show when Westbrook takes a break. He'll play with Westbrook sometimes too. And then they don't really have they've got Devin Carter, who's not, I don't think, much of a prospect. Like, I think even if the Knicks blow him out, like, Sacramento's got to have a point guard out there, to run the offense to end the game. And that
would be probably Carter.
Could be Schroeder if he's playing decently too. But yeah, 4,700. And, he'll go up against the Knicks guards. I mean, Brunson, McBride, Kolek, Clarkson. I think Schroeder could have success against those guys in the second unit. So I like Schroeder quite a bit at 4,700. I think you could get there in multiple ways.
Yeah, I mean, I'd prefer Schroeder if it's not a blowout, but I like it. I'm with you. I think he could come off the bench and he's still a good play, to be honest with you, at that price tag. So, and I think he could still just come off the bench. So, yeah, I'm going to like him. I'm going to like Clifford. Do you like Clifford at all at 3,300?
I'm okay with it if he starts, but
I just don't know who else they'd start.
Yeah,
I don't think they're going to start Schroeder. I think they're going to have him off the bench.
He's been a really, really low per minute fantasy point producer. I mean, on the season, he's at 19 minutes per game and 12.5 fantasy points per game. So, you're looking at like a 0.6 or 0.7 per minute player. That's about as low as players get, frankly. So those aren't the type of guys that I typically try to play unless they're like guaranteed big minutes, which I don't think that's the case for Clifford. So it sounds like
I'm a fan of his game. I don't think they're asking him to do a ton is the problem right now.
Yeah.
Because of guys like Westbrook and Schroeder and now Sabonis, who just takes a ton of, everything away from all these guys. So, but I believe in his talent. I think he's a really good prospect. I think he's going to be a good player in the league. So yeah, I think he starts. If he starts 3,300, I get what you're saying. He's I don't know if he has like the massive ceiling, but at 3,300, do you need a massive ceiling? I don't think you do. So yeah. And I did want to get to, where was that? Hobbs was like, Cardwell and Mitch Rob is going to be a war. That's going to be a war. I don't know if I can play. I don't know if I'm going to play either of them, but yeah, that's going to be a fun battle. They could start Keon. That's possible. They could start Keon over Neek. And if they did, I think Keon's a decent play. I think Keon's pretty good too. I think he's a solid player. And what's he, 30? Okay, he's 3,500. So yeah, not terrible values for the Kings here. But Sabonis definitely my preferred spend. What about the Knicks DC? Josh Hart coming off a big game. You obviously got Cat and Brunson, who have friendly tags, have been kind of hit or miss lately. What are you doing with them?
I think Cat's the way to go here. Attack Sabonis. And then it's, kind of youngsters behind Sabonis for the Kings. They're good players, but I think Cat's offensive game sets up well here against the Kings big men. So Cat 8,500. I mean, to me that, we're kind of Cat haters on this show, but that's still a pretty nice price point.
Kinda. Kind is a nice way to put it.
Yeah, it's a nice price point for Cat. So I'm in on Cat. He's my favorite way to play the Knicks side of it. I mean, Mitch Rob has been really productive for a 4.4K player.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Kings do have some talented, but I think pretty raw bigs that I would assume Mitch Robinson can continue to put up good production against. So I don't know if I'd play Cat and Robinson together on the same lineup, but I do like both guys quite a bit. And, individually, they're probably my two favorite plays on the Knicks.
Yeah, I think if I were to throw one, because I agree with you, I do like the big. I do like the bigs. If I was to play, I'll throw one other guy because he kind of plays like a big, which is Josh Hart. I don't love Josh Hart either with Mitch Rob. I think they take away from each other a lot because, like, a lot of times Cat's going to get his, Brunson's going to get his. I think, like, Hart and Mitch Rob kind of take away from each other. But I do think Hart's in play for tournaments. He clearly has the upside in certain matchups. I do think this could be another matchup like that where Hart has, similar upside here. So, yeah, I'll just throw him in as another Nick. I'm going to keep in my pool for tournaments because I always like those. I always like those guys that, they just, they're maybe not, they do everything in the stack category that for fantasy you love. And when it all clicks, DC, they're putting up a big number, kind of like last time out. So, yeah, I always like a guy like Josh Hart in these matchups here. But let's go to, I think, one of the two more interesting games on the entire slate, the Pels and the Thunder here. And the Pelican side, they're for the most part pretty healthy. Not missing too many guys right now. And the price tags look fair on most of them. It's not really the side I'm interested in as much. Not that you couldn't play any of these guys, but the side I'm more interested in is definitely OKC. I love attacking this Pelicans team with bigs. They just keep smashing every time. So the first guys I'm looking at are Chet, Jalen with a Y, Williams. Both those guys are very interesting plays to me that I'm going to probably play a decent amount of. And then you got the Case and Wallace questionable tag. And if Case and Wallace, who I think picked up an injury last game, if he's out, it makes them even more thin. They're already down Alex Caruso and AJ Mitchell and Jalen, the good Jalen Williams, the more expensive Jalen Williams. I don't know how else to put it without the Y. Caruso, Hartenstein. So they're already missing a bunch of guys, DC. If you add Case and Wallace to it, they get kind of thin, which is not normally a thing with OKC because normally it's look at all this depth, right? They lose one or two guys. They still have all these guys they can play. That might not be the case if you take Case and Wallace off this team that's already down a bunch of guys.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we got OKC shoot-around news. If we did, I didn't see it. But Wallace, I mean, he exited 2 games ago that would have been on Sunday against Toronto after just 16 minutes. I mean, given OKC's, the state of their team, their ambitions, obviously, to win another title, if he's hurt at all, he's gonna sit, right? So, maybe it's just like a hip bruise and he's fine and he plays. That could happen
They're
too.
playing the Pelicans at home.
Yeah. Again, the only way he's playing is if he's good to go. So if he's in and you like him, then go ahead, and I wouldn't feel nervous about the injury because he's obviously not hurt if he's playing. But I think he's fairly likely to sit if he left with an injury and it's only 2 days later and they have no reason to rush him back. And if he does sit, that leaves OKC pretty short-handed, which, I mean, you just have to like SGA in that scenario. No Ajay Mitchell coming off the bench to kind of take some of those minutes in usage. No Wallace, no Caruso, no Jalen Williams. Just a really good spot for the remaining OKC guys. I think it's the stars that you want the most. SGA and Holmgren are the two guys that I really want to get. Holmgren in particular, I mean, 8,500 in this matchup. No Hartenstein, missing some of those other guys. I think Holmgren is just an amazing play. But yeah, Jalen Williams, either in the starting lineup or off the bench, 4,300, I think looks good. Love SGA here. And then if Wallace misses, absolutely Lou Dort, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, I think and maybe even Kendrick Williams all become pretty good plays. So potentially a really good spot for OKC, who, as we've talked about a lot on this show, even when they're missing really good players, they're going to play well. They're going to put up points. They're going to score fantasy points in bunches. And especially against a team like New Orleans, they're going to do all those things. So, yeah, you nailed it when you talk about interesting games. You just got to be in on OKC. I mean, even if Wallace plays, I still like all these guys just a little bit less than if he's out. I think I'm completely out on New Orleans, though. Fully healthy outside of the long-term injury to Murray, who hasn't played a minute this season. They've got everybody else out there, and they've got to go into OKC as big dogs against the, maybe the best defensive team in the league. So I'm going to pass, I think, entirely on the Pelicans tonight, but potentially 2, 3, 4 OKC guys in my lineup.
Cubs, I'll just say you're welcome. You're welcome. My Twitter's talking about warm water every single day for some reason. Don't know why that is. What are you liking, Cubs, huh? What are you liking over there?
Exciting Twitter you've got going on over there, Cubs. I can't say I'm jealous of the warm water talk on the timeline.
Oh, man. I'm jealous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm jealous. I want some warm water articles and tweets going out. I want to see some. Yeah, the blowout is the chat right now. Chat's talking blowout, blow potential real, definitely real. But we see it in the NBA all the time. And I talked about it. Actually, Tony had a really good call. Well, I forget what the end of that game was, but Memphis, Houston, he said he liked the Memphis side yesterday, and they were pretty decent sized dogs against the Rockets. I think they just covered though, but the game was close, like the whole game. They ended up losing by 9. I think the spread was 10, if I remember correctly, when he was talking about it. So that did cover. That was a winner. Good call by Big T. But it's just like the Grizzlies are down all these guys, and then they put up a fight. And the Rockets team, that's the massive favorite at home, and they kind of played like ass. You know what I mean? And that happens all the time, DC, where like the known favorite comes in. It's a regular season NBA game, and, they're supposed to kill them, and they come out a little flat, and they just let the other team hang around. That happens all the time in NBA. So I think when you build DFS lineups, if you're playing SGA or Chet or these guys, like, you're just playing it under the assumption that the game goes the way you want it, right? From that standpoint, even if it is a big spread and it's likely to blow out, when you spend up for those guys, you're playing it like, man, they get 35 minutes. You know what I mean? They get 35 plus minutes here and they crush, and then I do think if you play like an Aaron Wiggins type, he's a tweener. If Cason Wallace is out, I think it helps him a ton. But he could also play some blowout. So he's a great play regardless if Cason Wallace is out, because you could get both sides of it. Like if it's a blowout, he's still going to probably play his 28 minutes.
Who are you talking about?
Aaron Wiggins.
Yeah.
Aaron Wiggins. Whereas like certain guys, if it's a blowout, they're going to come sit down, right, DC? Whereas like Aaron Wiggins, he might still play some of the blowout. So he's probably going to get his minutes. Those are the good plays. Like Kenrich Williams, I think, plays his 25 to 28 minutes if Cason Wallace is out, regardless of how this game goes. So yeah, those are good plays. I think those are like the safest plays, right, DC? Because they're going to play if the game is close, and they'll still get their minutes or enough minutes at their tags, even if it blows out.
I like the Wiggins and Kendrick Williams call. If Wallace does miss, like you said, they're going to get solid minutes regardless. And OKC's still got to close with 5 guys in a blowout, right? And they just don't have that many dudes left. Yeah. I was looking, you mentioned Wiggins and Kendrick Williams, which I agree with. But looking who they have left, if Wallace misses, I think Isaiah Joe has to be the backup point guard. I don't see – Dort can't do it. Wiggins, I don't really think –
Henrich could bring the ball up.
Yeah, a little bit. But I think Isaiah Joe would have to be the primary guy, unless I'm missing something. I don't really see.
I'm expecting him to start. So
yeah.
if Kaysen's out. So
Yeah. So I think Isaiah Joe becomes an interesting play. He's not been great recently, but he's a 3-point shooter whose shot hasn't been falling. That can change at any time. And he's cheap, 4,200. So I think there's a lot of different ways you can play OKC.
Yep.
But yeah, the more we look at it, someone like Cason Wallace doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you get down further and further with more and more guys missing, each additional guy you take out, matters more because there's just fewer guys that can take the minutes. So,
and like what happens when Lou Dort gets in foul trouble and there's no Cason Wallace, who are two of their better perimeter defenders, and no Caruso because he's out, right? And no Jalen Williams because he's out. It's like you start losing all these defenders, DC, and it's like, well, you still have your best two of your three best players, but your defense is severely hurt with some of these losses here. Cason Wallace is a really good defender, so yeah. I mean, there's ways where this game stays close. I don't think it's just. I did like this comment though by Rocket Sauce. He goes, "Zion is the bowling ball, Chet is the pin." Well, maybe Zion's the play then. Maybe got to get a little Zion Williamson.
It's hard. It's hard to disagree with the analogy.
Definitely hard.
But sometimes bowling balls veer into the gutter and don't score any points. So
that is also true right there. That is also DC's a bowler. You didn't know that. DC, you a bowler? Would you take my money bowling? You seem like a sharp. You take my money.
I'm not a great bowler. I probably average like 140. So
okay. So you're like near me. I don't think I'd average one. I think I'm just below you, but you're like right around me. I'm not that good either.
Do you curve the ball? That's the question. When you bowl,
I can curve it. I don't. I'm like the streakiest bowler. Yeah, we'll do one round where I'll be like really good, and then I'll do one round where I'm terrible. You know what I mean? And the wife will almost beat me. Like that's the way I go. I lose interest quick in bowling, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like once I lose interest, I'm out. Like
I'm good for like two games, but then I
think 2 games is my max.
Yeah.
Like I know people that will bowl for like a couple hours, and I'm like, nope, not me. Zion has dominated Wemby last game for what it's worth. Yeah, honestly, I think Zion would be my preferred Pell if I had to pick one. I feel like I haven't said that in a while.
Yeah, we might get bowling balls Zion throwing some strikes today. So
yes, sir.
What's going
on, Terry? Let's go. What's going on, Terry? Terry 2.0.
Matchup makes sense on paper for Zion. I don't know if I'll get there, but let's just assume for now, JSU, that Wallace does miss and you have all your spots open for whatever reason. I mean, you're looking at playing what, 3 or 4th under, I think, at that point?
Yeah. So I'm looking at, I probably want to spend up for at least one of those Thunder, right? Yeah. And then probably 2. You could play 3 of the values. So yeah, 3 to 4.
3 to 4, I think is the answer. I mean, if it fits,
you could play both SGA and Chat. I'm not saying you can't. I want to make that clear. Like you could play them both. Honestly, look at all the studs that are like questionable or out on this slate, DC. There's a lot. So it could be one of those slates where both those guys get there.
Yeah. And if we don't get the Wallace news at lock, I do want to keep spots open to play OKC rather than lock in, what I consider to be somewhat questionable value from the early game.
This is like the classic. Like if you're playing 3 lineups tonight, I'm going to play one lineup where I get my Klingon exposure. I get maybe Sabonis, the guys I want early. Maybe Nick Clifford if you start. Like, a couple plays from the early games. And then, I don't have as much roster flexibility with that lineup. But then I'll probably have my other 2 lineups be reserved almost for the 8 and up games.
Yep.
Where I'm just waiting to get all the news. And I'll probably play it that way. Because like I said, I do think this is a slate where there's just so many different ways to go. So it's not like I really want to lock in DC to one spot on this slate, because I think there's some pretty good spots here. You know, not like ranking them, but like I don't think it's just one clear spot that I have to have. I think there's a few different spots that I could have, and that's why it's like, yeah, most of them are late, but it's going to cause the early games to go under owned too, which is another reason why if we don't get the news, I still want to have at least one of my 3 lineups be with some of these early games because it'll just bring down the ownership because most of the people in NBA DFS are going to sit by the computers and wait for that news.
It's true. Yep, I don't can't dispute that.
Yeah, Dort has this effect. D-Mills. Dort killed me 2 games ago with 6 FanDuel points in 34 minutes, and then he comes back with like 30. That's the thing with Lou Dort. You get the ceiling, but the downside, that floor is fucking all the way down. The floor. It's literally I'm almost touching right now.
The problem with Dort is he scores fantasy points when the game comes to him, right? When he's left wide open for 3, when the rebounds come to him, when the deflected balls come to him and he gets steals. He doesn't
when his rain-making threes going.
Yeah,
really
but like,
he scores points.
Maybe someone smarter than me has the answer out there, but for me, it's really hard to predict Dort's big games. They seem pretty random.
Dort's a play. I think it's just like he fits your lineup.
Yeah.
Like you're not trying to play Dort, but like if he fits your lineup at 4,600 at shooting guard, you're not like, oh, you're like, okay, I can play.
There's never like a matchup though where you're like, oh, this is a Lou Dort game. He's going off tonight. Like, no,
definitely not.
Kind of hope he does. Yeah.
Definitely not. All right, that's enough of New Orleans in OKC. Before we move on here, don't forget, guys, on DraftKings Sportsbook, King of the Court back Tuesday nights, baby. We're back for a nice little King of the Court. Me and DC will give a quick preview at the end of maybe a couple guys we're targeting for the old King of the Court. $5 is the minimum entry. You can bet any prop on the board, and you'll have that player for the highest PRA on the slate. Even if your prop doesn't win, if he scores the highest amount of PRA on the slate, you will win on DraftKings. What's it, like a million pool or 2 million pool, DC, something like that?
Yeah, and if you pick Lou Dort and he makes 20 moonball threes, you might find yourself a millionaire overnight.
You will be a millionaire for sure. You will definitely be a millionaire. All right, next up on the slate, we got Milwaukee and Philly. Milwaukee, what a train wreck Milwaukee is. You see, I mean, this team is just an absolute train wreck here. No Giannis, no Kevin Porter, both guys out. Now we get the Ryan Rollins show. Ryan Rollins, 7,100 on DraftKings. I expect him to be one of the highest owned players on the entire slate, right up there with them. Bobby Portis is projecting pretty high right now. We got him. Where are we at? We got him at almost 34 fantasy points, 33.69 over at Rumpier Sports. And he's projecting at 30% on Sabre right now for some ownership here. Kyle Kuzma projecting for 18% ownership. Cole Anthony out of left field. Cole Anthony, 4,100, 23%. I don't know if that's going to stick, that ownership, but DC, there's a lot of Milwaukee Bucks projecting for some good ownership on this slate. Are you buying into Milwaukee for this slate here?
I don't think so. Not at these numbers. These ownership numbers are a little bit too spicy for me at JSU on a 6-game slate with a lot of good plays. Listen, I get why Ryan Rollins and Portis are projecting pretty well, but like, at 7,100 at 6K, you need 35, 40 fantasy points to get there. Like it's no walk in the park for anybody. And these guys are outmatched in this game. They're on the road. They're big dogs to Philadelphia. It's a low total at 219. It's a disaster season. Really, this franchise is in disaster mode with Giannis. I mean, now 2 serious calf injuries, which is like the obvious precursor to the Achilles that we've seen come up so frequently recently. I mean, it's kind of a scary time for Giannis. You got the trade talks. Got freaking Doc Rivers in there, doesn't know what he's doing. It's tough times for
How is he
Milwaukee.
still a head coach?
I don't know,
Unreal.
but it's Milwaukee's not a team I trust right now. They're not a team that I want to ride with when the field is, because the field cares about the projections and who's going to miss time. They're not really looking at like the state of the team. And I want to be lower on these Milwaukee guys in general. So I'm not playing a 40% owned Ryan Rollins or a 30% owned Bobby Portis. If those guys beat me, I'm fine with that. There are a lot of other good plays on the slate. In Milwaukee, obviously missing Giannis and Kevin Porter. I think they still have 12 or 13 bodies available for this game. Could go south in a hurry against, frankly, a pretty good Philadelphia team. We'll see if Grimes and Embiid end up playing, which obviously would hurt them some. But my initial read right now, JSU, again, what are we, 4 hours before tip of this game. So we'll see. But I want to be lower on Milwaukee than the field. And I think if you're playing Rollins, you play Portis with them, right? I think they need both guys. I think their minutes are super correlated. But my inclination at this time is to fade both those guys. And honestly, depending on who plays for Philadelphia, I think I want to be lower on this game overall. It's got a low total. It's got a lot of blowout risk. And I don't think these plays in this game in general are as safe as the market, as the public, as other DFS players are going to see them. So I'm going to hope to be lower on this game than the field is.
Yeah, D Mills, Wiggins or Kenrich, they're very close plays. I'd lean Wiggins. Big T wants to refresh projections, JSU. Okay. Actually, it's not me screen sharing. So didn't want to look at that. Bang. See how quickly you ask?
And all you got to do is ask, Big T. I got you.
That's it. Yeah, the chalk Bucks on tonight's slate. I don't love it either, DC. I don't love it. Now, I agree with your take of if you're going to play one, you should play like 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like you should just lean into them. And I like to, even when I don't love spots, if you have 3 teams, you could still get under, but like lean into it on one of your lineups where you
because
play
if the Bucks play well, who it's going to be? It is going to be Rollins and Portis, right?
It is going to be.
I just don't think they're going to play well.
Yeah, maybe Kuzma or Cole Anthony, like maybe one of these other guys. So like I play 3 probably, and definitely Rollins and Portis though. They're the first 2 I'd click in, and I might even play like 1/6 like in it. Like I might play like an Embiid or a Maxey or something like that, and just hope they can all nuke together or something like that. You don't have to, but I do think this game has potential blowout risk. I mean, we just saw Philly last time out. I mean, they got, I don't even know what to call that game. I mean, you lose to Charlotte in Charlotte, 130-93, and it was a pummeling, DC. I think at one point it was like 100-55 or something like that. Like they got absolutely dominated by Charlotte. Now they're back home in Philly. This just happened, I think, what was it, yesterday? So I would expect them to come out at home with a much better game tonight, and they're playing the Bucks, who are just terrible. And now the Bucks don't have their 2 best players on top of it. Their 2 best.
You see, Milwaukee's like a +10 net rating with Giannis on the court and like a -12.
Like they're like so bad when he's
22-point swing or something crazy like that without Giannis.
Yeah, they're just so bad with him off the court. Yeah, I think this is big blowout risk here. I like Philadelphia a lot tonight, just from a general standpoint. I think they're the ones blowing the team out tonight here. But again, if you do want to lean into this game, like I said, I'd be playing heavy on the Milwaukee side. I'm with DC though. I'm probably going to be a little lighter than the field on it. And I think the field's going to be very, very this game's going to be very highly owned.
That's what the field does. They see Giannis out, and they're like, "How many bucks can I fit in my lineup?" Which it's not really something I want to be holding hands with the field with. So I'll let them play the Bucks and hope they get blown out. I'm basically hoping for a Philly blowout. It's just, yeah, I don't have a problem going that route.
Now, when it comes to king of the court type of stuff, though, you can lean into some of these guys that other people won't want to pick if you like the Bucks. It's not a terrible way to go. I still don't think a ton of people are going to be clicking Ryan Rollins' name or, I mean, Benair, Kyle Kuzma. I mean, what's Kyle Kuzma going to play out? If he drops that, you're winning, Benair. Like, if you want to lean into something like that, you could. I'm probably not going to do it, just full transparency, but I always like the idea, DC knows, of getting like the secondary guys, like when guys are out. It always has the potential to pay out pretty decent. So yeah, we'll see. Let's go to, we got 2 more games left to talk about here. Don't forget, guys, smash the like button on the video if you're enjoying the show. Hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, runpuresports.com, for all your DFS and sports betting needs. We got you covered. Any package on the board gets you in the Discord as well. Just link your account from the website and get in, talk some sports with us in the chat, add us with your questions all throughout the day. We are in there. So great time. If you want to check it out, go get over to runpuresports.com and try it out for a month or a week if you so choose to. Brooklyn and Phoenix next up here. Phoenix is a very interesting team that I want to get to, DC, because no Devin Booker, no Jalen Green, and then Gillespie all of a sudden, Colin Gillespie, the midday downgrade. So we're losing a bunch of ball handlers, a bunch of guards. They're kind of thin at guard. And then all of a sudden, their main point guard downgraded to questionable. That doesn't bode well for him, I feel like, playing in this spot here against Brooklyn at home. Phoenix has actually been surprisingly a pretty good team this year, as a side note. But DC, we got to talk about it. Like, if Gillespie is out, things change kind of massively for Phoenix. But even with him in, I still think they're one of the better teams to target against Brooklyn.
Yeah, I definitely think if Gillespie's out, you got to have some Phoenix with Booker and Jalen Green already missing. We talked about the Phoenix being just too many guards a lot of the time, but they've been kind of healthy all season. Now they lose Booker, obviously the main piece of their offense. With him out, if Gillespie plays, I do think he's a pretty interesting play at 6,900. Grayson Allen gets a bump regardless, but would get a further bump if obviously Gillespie misses. And then you've got the backups or maybe starters tonight, depending on Gillespie's status. Goodwin and Jamari Booyah, who we both like a little bit as a player. Doesn't get a ton of opportunity, but would get minutes here for sure. 25 plus minutes, I think. If Gillespie does sit 3,100, he would become potentially the best value play on the slate, but might have to wait to the end of the slate to find out if it's super viable. I think he'll play minutes regardless, even if Gillespie is in. So I don't think you'd be drawn dead if you're stuck with Booyah, but obviously big bump if Gillespie does sit. All that said, I will say I'm being a little cautious with this game. I mean, a 210 total in this one of the lowest totals of any game for the whole year between Brooklyn and Phoenix. So it's expected to be slow. Not a game I want to have a ton of pieces of regardless. But if Gillespie does miss, I probably would have, if I've got room for it, a couple of Phoenix guards. I don't think I'm getting to like Brooks or Royce O'Neal or the big guys here for Phoenix. I think it's mostly the guards, especially if Gillespie's out. And then on the Brooklyn side, main injury news is Clowney is out. And then they got some guys out in the backcourt too, but more interested in the Phoenix side, I think, especially if Gillespie sits. Again, really low total and another potential slow blowout spot with Phoenix still favored by 8.5 right now. I'm a little, probably it sounds like more cautious with this game than you are, JSU, but talk to the people what you're looking at.
Yeah, well, one, I think if Gillespie's out, Brooklyn's a pretty good bet, honestly, because you start taking out all those guards, and they get just extremely thin here. I don't love the Brooklyn side for DFS. I think the one clear play you can play is MPJ because he does have the ultimate upside, and the minutes can be there if it's a close game. But the Phoenix side to me is the way more interesting side. And I agree with you. Like if Gillespie's in, I don't think it's a spot where like you have to play 2 to 3 Phoenix guys.
No.
But I think you could play 2 or 3 if you wanted to. I more like it though if he's out. If he's out, like Grayson Allen, Dylan Brooks, one of the guards, I think I'm gonna want here because now they're just really thin, like razor thin. So even in a slower game and stuff like that, these guys are gonna play a lot of minutes. And they're gonna get a lot of opportunity with the ball in their hands when you start taking all these ball dominant guys out of the game. So yeah, Grayson Allen's my favorite play right now. Gillespie, if he plays, would be second. If he's out, it would be Brooks. And then I like Bouye a ton if Gillespie is out. He would move up. It would be him and Grayson Allen would be my 2 favorite plays if Gillespie is ruled out. If he's in, I don't think you need to play Bouye because he's one of those guys. Like I think he gets some minutes, but I don't think in that scenario he would get more minutes if it's a blowout game. So if you'd play him, it would be as like a standalone play, not with like a bunch of other guys, I think. But if Gillespie's out, I don't even care if he doesn't start, even if Gillespie, as long as Gillespie's out, let's say they start Goodwin or something like that, I think Bouye is still a very good value play to get to, and I'll want in that scenario. Danny Wolf in play with Clowney out. He's okay. We've seen him in these situations where he should get an uptick, and he sometimes does with the minutes, but he doesn't always get there with the fantasy points. I think he's okay if you're like multi-entering. I'd keep him in the pool, but not a guy with like 1 to 3 lineups I'm gonna shove in that much. DC, what about you, Danny Wolf?
I think he's an okay play, especially because it doesn't look like the field's on him at all. He's one where even when it sometimes looks like the minutes should go his way, they don't always go that way. And sometimes when it looks like he won't get many, he ends up getting quite a few minutes. So it seems to be gets more if he's playing well, which should be the case for all players, but isn't always the case. So yeah, I like Danny Wolf generally when he's being overlooked, which it looks like he is tonight. So yeah, I think he's a reasonable play.
Yeah. That's fair. Is Goodwin out with the beneficiary of Gillespie missing? Yeah, I mean, I think he starts. So yeah, he'd be the first guy, but Bouye would be I think the biggest guy. Goodwin's going to get minutes regardless because no Devin Booker and Jalen Green. That's going to open it up for Goodwin, I think, as is. So if Gillespie's out, I already think Goodwin gets a bump before that. I think Bouye is the one that gets the biggest bump after that there. So, yeah, those are my thoughts with Phoenix and Brooklyn, DC. Let's get to the last game on the slate, Detroit and Denver. In Denver, Jamal Murray probable for this game. It looks like he should be good to go. Peyton Watson also probable. I think Joval is as well. So those guys will all be in. No Aaron Gordon tonight. Little loss for them. Still down Cam Johnson and Christian Brown. Jokic obviously all out. But they're getting back Murray, Watson. And man, Peyton Watson has been so friggin' good. I mean, the minutes, this guy, I know it was against Washington, so he made 6 threes too, but still, I mean, 40 minutes, 35 actual points. DC, Peyton Watson, he's going to be a tough guy for them to like not give big minutes to, even when everyone comes back healthy. I don't know how you kind of go away from him.
Yeah, occasionally teams get this kind of like blessing in disguise where they get injuries and then, you get young players that emerge. and kind of show a new level. And so then even when they go back to a lesser role, those players are then ready to go if called upon again. And I think we've seen that step up from Peyton Watson. I mean, 64 fantasy points against the Wizards on just 16 shot attempts. I mean, that's hard to do. Extremely efficient, 6 stocks in that game, 8 boards, 3 assists, got to the line 10 times. It's been really, really good for Denver. They'll need him tonight too. I mean, no Jokic, no Aaron Gordon. If Denver's going to play well and compete in this game against a really good Pistons team, it's going to have to be big Watson minutes. I think you'll see Jamal Murray out there for big minutes as well. So I do like both those guys. Detroit's really good, but this is still going on the road into Denver, the toughest place to play, biggest home court advantage in the league. And I think this could be a sneaky good spot for guys like Murray, Watson, both of those guys projected right around 10% owned for Denver. And then, Cade on the other side looks like a good spend. I think I prefer Avdia and SGA and Chet and maybe Cat. So I don't know if I'll get to Cade myself, but he could certainly have a huge game here. And it doesn't look like many people are going to this game in general. I mean, you see pretty much everybody other than Cade under 10% owned, and could see this being a good fantasy game with the stars performing well, the stars that are left performing well. So I'm not going to completely write off this one, but it does look like the field will, which always makes a game a little bit more enticing. So again, I don't know how much of this game I'll get to, but I do have more interest in it than I think the market does.
Yeah, I agree with you on this game. And there's just so many good spots on the slate. Now, shout out to DraftKings. They got a nice little 3-gamer night slate too. 100K prize pool, $18 entry fee, 20K to first. If you want to play the 3 late games, so the 2 9:00 games and the 10:00 game are in that slate. So if you want to get a piece of this Denver team and something like that, I think it's a pretty good way to go. But on the main slate, there's still good plays. I like Jamal. I like Peyton Watson. We have value too, so spending up, I don't think will be that hard on the main slate to get up to those guys. And then Detroit, I mean, it's literally just Cade. I don't know. I can't sell myself on any of these other guys with the minutes and the inconsistency. I don't love it even in this matchup, but I do think Cade's in a really good spot. I could see him having a big game. And mainly the studs from here. I don't see the need to go anywhere else. I like this Murray double plus 336. I like that here a decent amount. Joe Val and Najee season with Gordon out. Yeah, so the Gordon out thing, DC, who do you think that benefits the most? Because I think Zeke and Joe Val are going to they're going to get their minutes. They're going to kind of split their minutes almost with the center minutes.
Yeah, just don't know how many minutes Joe Val can really go.
I think they keep it like literally half the center minutes, 22 to 26, somewhere in that range.
Which makes him a pretty tough click, I think, at 6,500. He's asking a lot. And then Najee at 4,500 I think is more interesting, but not the best fantasy play usually. I don't know if I can get to those guys. I mean, I think Watson and Jamal.
I think Watson's the guy that actually just benefits from Aaron Gordon being out.
If this game is close, I think you're going to see Watson out there for 40 minutes. So, yeah.
I think he's out there for 40 minutes for sure, unless it's just a massive blowout.
Well, yeah. It's got to be close. But, yeah, yep.
Peyton Watson for King of the Court, DC? Is that what you're telling us? Are you telling us Peyton Watson for King of the Court?
I could see it. I don't hate it.
I could see it. It's not the craziest thing ever.
Yeah.
All right, that is all 6 games on the DraftKings main slate here, DC. Let's sort through. Let's give our anti-plays and our plays of the day, and maybe a King of the Court flyer or two that we're looking at here. Sort by ownership.
Yep, we got it.
All right. I have a feeling that I kind of know the sides we're going to be taking on this, but I'll let you go first here, DC. Who's the anti-play of the day? Who's the guy your Fields on that you are going to be very low on or fading?
I'll take it straight from the top of the list. I don't need to go any further than the number one own play on the slate. 7,100, Ryan Rollins, big dog going into Philly, a busted team in Milwaukee. He'll be asked to do a lot in this game. So I do think his ceiling is pretty high, but I think his floor is much, much lower than 36% ownership would suggest. And I think Rollins busts most of the time tonight. So Ryan Rollins, your anti-play of the day.
Love that. Appreciate you, Carmen V23NY. Great show, guys. Love to hear it. I'm going to go with Lou Rainman Dort. Beat me with your Rainman 3 balls. I'm not scared. Fucking 20-something% Lou Dort. I can't look myself in the mirror if I click that at 20%.
It's a sweat you've got going on, though, watching those balls fall from the rafters.
I'll tell you, I'm going to be sweating the whole time. I can tell because he's going to chuck them. I know Lou Rainman Dort. He's gonna chuck those things. All right, so that's the anti DC. Who's the player? Who's the guy you just can't make a lineup without?
Assuming he's in there, I got the. I think you're going to be on him too, but I like Denny Avdia here. Revenge game going into Washington. Had the day off, running the show for Portland, who I expect to play well against this pretty bad and young Wizards team who turns it over. I just don't see much on Washington that's going to give Avdia trouble. So he's my favorite play of the day and also my king of the court pick, assuming he's in, because we like these questionable guys. Because people betting early, and we know a lot of people are betting early, probably aren't taking a guy with a Q tag. So Avdia, I think, should have lower king of the court ownership or whatever betting wise than he should. So there you go.
I like that. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do a spend, and then I'm gonna go cheapy if something happens. But my spend's gonna be. I'm gonna go Chet Holmgren. I want to attack the Pels with some bigs. I'm gonna go with the what did they call him, the bowling pin earlier in the show. I'm gonna go with the bowling pin or whatever
Hopefully it doesn't get flattened by the bowling ball guy on.
Throw some strikes here. We're gonna knock some pins down with Chet. So yeah, I'm taking him. And then Jamare Bouye, if Gillespie is out, I don't care if he starts. We're playing him 31. I think he's 3,100 on DraftKings. We're loading him up here if Mr. Gillespie's out. So don't forget about him. Even if he doesn't start, I think he's still a pretty damn strong play here. So best NBA live stream show with the greats. Appreciate you responses to the questions. Love to hear it, guys. Of course, we appreciate everyone watching this show. If you did enjoy it, like D Mills, like Carmen V23NY, smash the like button on this video here. Make sure you subscribe to this channel for more free shows. DC, king of the court bet, you said Denny is your guy. Who would be like an off the wall guy though? Because Denny's still like a stud. Who's like an off the wall guy that you think could pay out a decent amount?
It's stealing your pick from early, but I like the Peyton Watson call. He's put up some big games, going to get big minutes. I do like that call a lot for a little bit of an off the board play.
I like it. I like that call too. I'm gonna give two weird one. So my first weird one is going to be Grayson Allen because I want scorers. They're missing two of their scorers. They could miss their third point guard and their third guard if Gillespie's out. And I know Grayson Allen can get hot. I know he's had games where he's put up 30 actual points. I think he's hit 40 this year too. And for king of the court, I always talk about it. But with these mid-tier type of guys, you need guys that can score, guys that can get hot, that can hit threes, that can rack up those points a ton. And I do think with all these guys potentially out for Phoenix, he's going to be asked to do a lot more. So Grayson Allen, I think, is a very sneaky pick for said king of the court. And then the other one, if you want to wait and you want to go all the way until the 10 o'clock game, which not many people are going to want to do with their ticket, and it's not the best spot, but you've got no Keontae George and you've got no Yusuf Nurkic going after one of these Utah guys. Lauri Markkanen's back for the team. Maybe Lauri just puts up. We've seen Lauri have some big games here. Maybe Lauri puts up a massive game, or you get like an Isaiah Collier explosion type game. And I've seen him rack up, bunch of assists. He can rebound for a guard. He's a pretty good rebounder for a guard. Who knows? Maybe he gets you a close to a triple-double line or something like that. So just a couple off-the-board plays. If you want to get weird with your $5, minimum, $5 minimum bet, you can put more on it, but all you need is $5. And I do think those are a couple weird picks, DC. I don't see many people holding their ticket till 10 o'clock game, DC.
No, certainly not me. I'm spending it early.
Yeah. Yep. No, I get it. Those are going to be three guys that I'm looking at though. So hopefully we can finally hit one of these long shots. We've been close a couple of times. I haven't hit one yet. DC always rubs it in my face that he's hit one already. And I've come in second like 3 different times, but I still haven't won because second is just the first loser and king of the court. That's how it goes. I'm going to get one though, DC. It's coming. I can feel it. Might be tonight.
I hope so. I hope so
too. All right. That's going to do it for this show, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. Don't forget to check out runpuresports.com for more content from all of us here, but we'll see you guys then. For DC, I'm JSU. Good luck in your DraftKings DFS and betting over on DK Sportsbook. King of the court, baby. Let's get it. We're out of here. Peace.